Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart. 8 great masculine fragrances. This is a list I do semi-annually. I take this one a little bit more seriously than the other ones. I think masculinity in today's world is a little bit more important. And so I tried to put a variety of fragrances in here. We've got some niche, couple of niche, got a couple of inexpensive ones, a couple of old school, and one that's quite sweet. So I tried to find masculine fragrances that appeal to a wide variety of people. And masculinity is important because the far left, I think if they had their way, they would cut our balls off. And I like my balls. This is Eau Sauvage by Christian Dior. This is a great fragrance for summer. It is a really strong citrus fragrance. It's got a lot of bergamot and lemon. Lemon is nice on this one off the top. And yes, it has an old school oak moss kind of feel, but this is primarily a citrus fragrance. Only the people that are like really, really anti anything herbal or old, only those people, like the extremists, won't like this. But I think most people will. It's got a classy element to it. The bottle is really cool. But the big thing here is just the performance. When you spray this on, not many citrus fragrances will you notice that you have on, that you will notice. Not only other people do, but you do. For the first half hour, you'll know you're wearing this. So it does project. It lasts a good 6 hours on your skin. It's just a lovely, fresh citrus fragrance with great performance. Fragrance number 2, this is Creed's Viking, and I just love this. This is very Paris, this fragrance. It's very Paris. Most people don't understand it. They don't know about it. And I think part of the reason is that everyone on Fragcom seemed to miss it or not care. Another part of the reason is most people are not familiar with absinthe. Now, when I bought a house, I bought a kind of a housewarming gift for myself that was a bottle of absinthe. It's a very popular drink about 100 years ago in Paris specifically, and Creed was based in Paris. And that's what they decided to do. They wanted to make an absinthe, a fragrance that smelled like an absinthe cocktail. So basically what you do, you get the green stuff, they give you a little spoon and you put some sugar on it and then you pour the absinthe over it, but you also add a bunch of other things, sort of side spices and things like that. And the main one, and this is the dead giveaway when you look at the note breakdown that this was meant to be an absinthe fragrance, is mint. Mint is the main one. And not only is there mint in this fragrance, there's also peppermint. And there's also allspice. And spices are important as a sort of a side for this, a garnish for this. And so is lavender, oddly enough. So yeah, this one is clearly meant to be an absinthe cocktail, but it was 100 years ago. It was a very, very sort of narrow usage. Absinthe was really heavy in alcohol, and it had psychedelic properties. Most people don't know what it smells like. Damn, I love it. It's very, very masculine, very pungent, very strong. But yeah, that's what it is. It's absinthe. Next up, we have Lacoste White. This, to me, is the quintessential man across time. Why? Well, nowadays for young men, very, very sweet fragrances are the norm. Whereas in the 1950s and 40s, no, there was no sweetness. There was a lot of leather and a lot of herbal notes, right? But the one style of fragrance of which this really embodies, that goes across, the whole time from the 50s all the way to now, is this. It's a citrus woody. So in 1951, Floris 89 was a really popular house in England. Floris 89, that was a citrus woody in 1951. What do you think Bleu de Chanel is? It's a citrus woody, right? And that's what this is. This is a kind of a no frills, a citrus woody. It does its job, though. It does it really well. It's got a really nice grapefruit note off the top, a little bit of ylang-ylang, which is a sweet floral. And then it's got cedar and vetiver in the base. Touch of leather. I don't pick up much, but it's one of those fragrances that'll appeal to older gentlemen and it'll appeal to younger gentlemen. Bottom line, it's still masculine. Fragrance number 4 This is Halloween Man X, and this is masculine in a very sweet way. And inexpensive fragrance, really good performance. It is coffee and tonka and a very sharp whiskey note. The whiskey here gives a little bit of bitterness to the actual coffee. It makes it smell real. Plus then you add the tonka. It's really nice and sweet. Yeah, damn it. It smells good. This one, don't underestimate this guy. Next up, we have Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. Now, this is a niche fragrance because in 2019, this one was a private line fragrance. And then they moved it over in 2020. Didn't change much. They did the same thing for Oud Mineral. And then I got it, and I'm like, damn, this is super strong. And yeah, it really is niche. It really is. Anyway, this is a classic barbershop. It has no citrus accord and no listed citrus notes because it uses lavender to get the freshness. And that's how you tell like a true hardcore run-of-the-mill barbershop. So even though it came out in 2020 or 2019, yeah, this is meant to smell like something that would have been super popular, in the 1960s and 70s. It's a classic gentleman's fragrance, really, really nice. And yeah, I can't stop smelling it. Very, very powerful. This one, like we're talking 10 hours on me, but yeah, not any citrus here. If you want a citrus barbershop, go right here. This is Calvin Klein's Eternity. Now, this one is still barbershoppy, but this came out in 1990. And what happened was, there was in 1988, Cool Water was like super successful. And it was a lot of citrus. And so Calvin Klein said, how can we get in on that? Well, they were used to making, like barbershop was still really big in 1990. So what they did was they added a citrus accord and bumped it right up. So this is like a barbershop, a lot of nice lavender here, but with a lot of citrus in the top. So you're going to get a citrusy version of a barbershop with this. Very, very pleasant. This is one that was like, I didn't try this for 2 years. I bought this 30 milliliter and I'm like, okay, I've got Eternity. I know what it smells like. That. Yeah. And then I just kind of figured out it's crap. And I've been wearing it again lately. I really like it. It's really nice. And the performance has gotten better because it's sat around for a couple years. So the performance isn't bad. It's a very, very pleasant fragrance. It was like huge in the early 90s. And yeah, Eternity. Next up, we have a kind of an old school masculine blue fragrance. And this comes in at 10, which is one of the reasons why I never tried it for a long time. Because I'm like, how good could a fragrance be that comes out of a 10? You're not talking high sophistication here, but it's Versace's Blue Jeans. Now, this one did surprise me in a lot of ways. This is, I think, well, probably the first true blue fragrance ever. Blue juice, blue bottle, blue in the name. And this is actually really pleasant. It's masculine because it has that quintessentially masculine note, which is lavender. And the reason lavender is considered masculine is because the soap in the barber shop, when you go for a shave, all smelled like lavender. And there's tons of lavender in this, a lot of citrus off the top. Then you get the lavender. But the weird thing about this, there's a couple weird things about blue jeans. There's a couple weird. The weird thing for me was there's sweetness in the base. You don't notice it in the first half hour. And for 1995, that's kind of weird. 94, actually. And yeah, so there's like tonka in the base. You can get a little bit, like a half an hour in, it start to smell a little sweet. Like, whoa, that makes it versatile. And again, 6 hours it lasted on my skin. That shocked me. However, it is an inexpensive fragrance. It does come in a tin after all. The problem with this one is projection. It becomes a skin scent way too quickly for me. I mean, you can overspray it. It is a really nice scent, though. You can overspray it, but it's a little frustrating. I just wish it had a little bit better projection, and then it would have been like super awesome. Finally, we've got Pasha de Cartier Edition Noire. And this one, I swear to God, this is one of the nicest scents I have ever smelled. I think if this thing could perform better, it would be the top 10 seller of all time. But alas, performance is an issue. And again, it's projection. It's not longevity. Longevity is fine, but it's a classic, really nice ambery citrus fragrance. And it's so well balanced, right? So it opens with a really reasonable amount of citrus, and then a reasonable amount of mint. And then you get amber, not vanilla, amber, moderate. And then you get cedar in the base. A little bit of everything goes really well together. Just a lovely scent. 6 hours on the skin, good presentation. But yes, like the problem with this one is it becomes a skin scent too quickly. It's great for the office though. This was like white collar, masculine. Being masculine, we can't help it. It's called testosterone, And I'm going to smell like a guy and I'm going to love it. Take care.